both sides of the road. 2C13, which is on that side of the road, and this is 2C15, A, B, C, D, and E, and number 3, which comprises about 1,200 odd acres. This particular spot that we're standing on used to be the old World War trails between Tarukenga and Tainui. And as you know in history, that when they went out on their little journeys through the country, they always followed the waterways. And this is one of them here. A lot of water comes down this particular part of the ground here. So now that house was only a temporary place. It was put here to stop the sale of this land. It was when I started delving into my mother's interest in this particular property here, I went to investigate certain areas of our lands, and I was told, and there was only a rumour at the time, that Marae affairs were the trustees of this place, of all our lands, and they were talking about selling it to forest products. And I was told by a partner, not by our own relations that were working for Marae affairs, that if you were to put a house on this place, that'll stop the sale, and everything will have to come through anybody that's living here. Because nobody was living on this land, in their minds, and history will tell you that's the way they purchased our land, because you didn't show any interest in your land, they just took it. It made it easy for them to take it, because you weren't interested in it. And by putting that house there, I made a statement to the department and to the government that this is our land, you're not going to sell it. Do what you can try and do what you have to do. And all I had to do was try to get some of the people to rally around and back me up. I didn't get much support when I wanted to put that house here, but I put it there anyway. I've had no regrets about it. And when I put that house there, the forest products came down here and told me that I've got that house on a reserve. And I said, why is it a reserve? He said, oh, these are the old Maori war trails over here, and you've got your house sitting on the side. And I said, oh, well, that's good. I belong to this place. This was our playground when we were kids, because I was born just down the road here. We were born just down the road here, through that bush here. The next house down on the right hand side is where we were born. My pito was buried there. My whenua was buried there. So my connection to the land and our connection to the land is that. If your babies are born, you bury it over there, and that's your connection to this land. And nobody can take that away from you. That's your poem, your signature to this place, in the scheme of things. And that's why I didn't worry about what people said when I put that out. I was on my own when I did all this. It's something I just decided to do. And I had to go and seek permission, of course, but I went to all the old queers. I didn't go to the men, because the men of our tribe were regarded as useless people. And that's been known in history, that our men from this tribe here were useless men. Everything was based around the female one. So I went to the women of our tribe and asked what did they think about me putting this house here, and the reason why, and they said, you go for it. And that's all the permission I needed. Forestry product came down here, said I had no business putting the house here, because they had already marked off this area as a whole reserve. And I said, well, how did you make it a reserve? Did you purchase the land off the owners? They said, no, we just drew a map, drew a line through the map and said this. Well, so you go back to your bloody office and rub that line out, because now we're back here. We're on this property now. And that's what happened here. That's a bit of history. My bit of history, if you like. Mine. It doesn't have to be yours if you don't want it to be. But I think you should make it your history too. Because this is the future for our kids. And I'm more inclined to shift towards the young ones more than the older generation, which is my generation. We had jobs, we had plenty of money, and we had everything in my age group. So they shouldn't have any complaints about what they've got for their retirement. But the young ones that are around today, the ones that are not born yet, they've really got nothing to look forward to. It's going to be very hard for you to purchase a house in, say, 50 or 60 years' time. And it doesn't matter how bloody educated you are, you've still got to compete with other races for a job here. Once upon a time it was only between Marae and Parker, but it's not like that anymore. So I'm a little radical here. A lot of my own age people have told me that, you know, oh, what about the old people, what about the other people? I say, well, what about the old people? My experience with old people is the young ones have to turn around and look after them in their old age. Didn't have much of a chance for themselves to get on in life because they had too many responsibilities at an early age. Some of them have gone from childhood to adults straight away through no fault of their own. And then you find probably all stand there thinking, Jesus, he's always complaining about something. Well, yeah, I am, and I make no apologies for that. I make no apologies for that. By complaining about those sort of things. Well, you probably get sick of listening to it, but I don't care. It's the truth. So this land here, the project and the plan for this, they're talking about $8 million to get it going before it's fully operational. We have some things in order at the moment. The money's slowly coming in for their trust to spend on the project. We found an old sawmill that we want to use as a demonstration model. We found one in Whanau, the place called Hikoi. It's an old steam-driven one, which is what we want. We got that, we dismantled that. It took us about 3 weeks for us old fellas to get it going. We had to find some young fellas to give us a hand to do all the heavy work. They're all very active like me. And we managed to follow Hikoi and his couple of sons and a couple of my grandsons to come over to do all the heavy work. We've got the sawmill down at Rotorua storage. Among other things that have been purchased, getting ready for the signing of the lease. We are just building along with the lease. We're not in too much of a hurry to come to any arrangement over the lease. We want to make sure that it's going to be put right, make sure that the young ones that are going to come on and take over from us have got no problems in the future with regards to the lease of this property. And I say again, it's up to you to educate your kids, to get them ready for it, be it 60 or 100 years away from now. Not about me, not about anybody in my age group, probably some of you, but it's all those ones that are following on behind you. So the history of this place is such that it's an attraction to tourism because of the many battles that took place in here. Like I said, there's one of the main walking war trails that's through here, so it has this history. There's an old past site just down there that belonged to Rotorua. They came here and hid out in the bush when they got a hiding at the runner, and hid out over here, and they decided to change sides and go and fight for the park against their own cousins later on. And they joined the Tarukenga militia and started fighting their relations up here. Real turncoats they were. But that's how they was. They wanted peace. They didn't want to fight anymore, so they went to the side that they thought would bring peace to the area. Nothing wrong with that thinking. You get sick of fighting after a while and watching your cousin get eaten up by some other bugger. And you needed protection, and the park had that protection. But today, in a funny sort of way, we're still being eaten up by the system. But unfortunately, for some of us, we try and fight the system. Well, that's wrong. We should use the system to work for us. You know, and whether we like it or not, we have to go to the side of the park because that's the way it's got to be. Now, there are some sites